Are we ready?
Not quite yet.
Okay.
O'clock now. Go ahead.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Let's bring the August 24th, 2021 council meeting to order. Please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, a nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Mayor Johnson.
Present.
Deputy Mayor Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Carter.
Here.
Councilmember Dole.
Here.
Councilmember Ishmael. Here. Councilmember McClymons.
Present.
Councilmember Swatman.
Present.
And Councilmember Watson.
Here.
Terrific. Thank you very much. I don't see any agenda modifications. We do have an announcement this evening. Sadie?
Mayor, there is one agenda modification request from Councilmember.
Yes, may we remove AB 21?
It's frozen on my side.
Moving AB 2174.
Is that off the consent agenda?
Yes.
Full council.
Thank you.
Terrific. Next, we have item D, number 1. Sadie?
This is Agenda Bill AB 21105. The council motion would be to approve the mayor's appointment of Josh Gonzalez and Rodrigo Yanez with terms ending April 6th of 2024, and Caitlin Walford to the student position number 8 with term ending April 6th, 2022 to the Arts Commission.
So moved. Seconded.
Second. Arts Commission stays, pretty busy, and we need to fill some positions, so hopefully we're all good. Any questions? I don't see any. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Moving down, we do have one proclamation this evening. I'll go ahead and read that. Whereas each year in the United States, more than 15,780 children from birth to 19 years old are diagnosed with cancer, equal to about 42 childhood cancer diagnoses each day. And whereas approximately 1 in 285 children in the United States will be diagnosed with cancer before their 20th birthday, with this number increasing each year. Whereas each year worldwide, there are more than 300,000 new childhood cancer diagnoses, equal to about every 3 minutes a family will hear the words, "Your child has cancer." The 5-year survival rate for childhood cancers has reached 84%. Nearly 1,500 American children under the age of 19 still die each year from cancer, making it the leading killer of children by disease. It's at least one chronic health condition later in life, not limited, but including heart, liver, lung damage, infertility, secondary cancers, and growth defects. Whereas the causes of childhood cancer are largely unknown and more studies are needed to understand which treatments work best for children. And whereas cancer treatment for children often must differ from traditional adult treatments to take into account children's developmental needs and other factors. There are more types of variances of childhood cancers than adult cancers. Whereas there are hundreds of children being treated for cancer in Washington State with locations at Seattle Children's Hospital, Mary Bridge Hospital, and Shriners Hospital. Whereas Washington is a caring state and community that supports children and families. Now, therefore, I, Neil Johnson Jr., Mayor of the City of Bonnie Lake, to hereby proclaim September 2021 Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And pretty much that's childhood cancer is a very big deal, and It's always sad when it hits a kid. It really is. Thank you. I have no public hearings. We do have citizen comments. This is your chance to speak to the city council on matters of city business. Please state your name and address for the record.
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you.
What's that?
Mr. Decker, are you wishing to speak?
I wish to speak. Yes.
Okay.
Go right ahead. Yes.
That's what you're saying, Richard. So thank you.
Mr. Decker speaking, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much.
My name is Dan Decker. I live at 204 170th Street, East Point. Council, Deputy Mayor, Mayor. There are people, as I understand, that are very upset about the volumetric costs on the city water bill. Some people think the mayor is responsible for this volumetric water cost. No, the people must look at the city council for this cost. In fact, David King, past council member, brought this volumetric cost to the table for the people to eat after the council voted into effect many years ago. Only the council can change city costs to the people. I understand there are even some council members that want to blame the mayor. Shame on you, those that are trying to blame him for these costs. Only the council can change the cost, change the volumetric cost to the city residents, not the mayor. After all, the council makes the rules the city lives by, and I'm hoping that the council starts making rules that the city can live by, because the cost to many people are really getting out of hand for them to even live in the city of Bonnie Lake and keep their homes. With all the taxes that are coming up here in the near future and in the past for home ownership, I have to laugh at the high cost the city gives us to be residents in this city. I just wanted to bring up one thought here. I drove around the city today, and in the past few weeks, I noticed that one of the biggest problems we have is lack of law enforcement. I believe that the city could use at least 2 more, maybe even more police officers to help calm down some of the things that are happening in the city. One of the things I've noticed is the Highway 410 is the International Bonnie Lake Raceway. I'm driving up the Eli Hill every night, and when I'm going up, we don't have the standstill traffic. Thank you for that. But we do have people that like to go 80, 90, 100 miles an hour up that hill. And I would like to see some kind of law enforcement slowing that down. Because when you see a car zigzagging in and out of traffic, it only means one thing in the end, and that's somebody dead. Anyway, thank you very much, Council. Appreciate your time. And if anyone believes that anything I've said tonight is wrong, please dispute it now.
Thank you. Is there anyone else for the good of the order? I don't see anyone else. Am I correct there, Mr. Vodopich?
Correct. No one else has approached the podium.
All right, terrific. We'll move on then. Thank you. We have no correspondence, correct, Sadie?
Correct.
Okay, great. We do have council committee reports. We have finance committee, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Finance Committee met tonight upstairs at 5 o'clock on the second floor. We had a personnel discussion. Public service admin, we have recruitments open for a permit technician. Additional candidate interviews are on 8/24. Position remains open until filled. Public service and public works, administrative specialist 2. First review has been conducted on 8/20. 65 applicants were received. 25 forwarded to the department for review, and 6 were selected for the first round of interviews scheduled for August 31st. Maintenance worker 1 interviews have been conducted and background checks being processed. Applicant is starting on 9/1. Meter reader interview conducted on 8/5 and background conducted. Applicants started on 8/16. Seasonal labor, there's no new applicants for that. On recreation, site directors and assistant interviews continue for the before and after school care program. 2 applicants for site directors positions started on 8/16. Still need at least 1 more. In courts, the bailiff pre-screening of applications continue. New proposal to move funding from funding to police and add a CSO funding for a full-time position. I'll talk about that in a moment. Police, lateral police officer, 1 applicant in background right now, an additional in oral board scheduled for 9/9. And exceptional police officer, 1 applicant in background and an additional also in oral board scheduled for 9/9. We had a really good discussion with the city prosecutor and our contract prosecutor about a deputy city prosecutor position. There'll still be some information coming forward on that. We are bringing forward in the September 14th meeting a change in the bailiff FTE so that the police will be able to fund the bailiff rather than the courts, and that will add an extra CSO to our staff. And it's not a full-time increase because of the offset cost from courts, but it will be able to help offset some of the costs that and labor needed for the bailiff position and some upcoming body cam recording items that will need to be happening at that time. We also had a discussion on the COLA benefits for non-represented staff, and I moved that forward to consent agenda for September 14th. We reviewed our minutes and we adjourned. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor Evans. Community Development Committee, please.
Mr. Mayor, the Community Development Committee did meet on August 17th. We had several items of business. A presentation by the water treatment facility folks down there. It was a great presentation on the future equipment upgrades and maintenance, and basically big the dryer down there, basically a rotisserie unit, all the waste through so that they can class it down to a Class A, so that they don't have to spend a lot of money to get the waste transported to a proper facility. And that's just items for the sewer. We pay a portion of that down there for the plant maintenance, so that'll be coming up in the future. It's quite a ways out, but it's a couple of years down. So working towards the big project. Resolution 2968 with authorization contract for the Northwest Sewer Manhole Reef. We do those on a regular basis. Maintenance for the sewer system, of course, as those manholes will continue to have problems and fall apart. Roadway issues and or internal issues with coating and such. They go out there and they have that contract that will allow them to the manhole and identify the deficiencies and that's of course done by an outside firm there because our folks would be capable of doing some of that work, but it's much more cost effective and efficient to have those folks come out here and do it and have our folks do the regular maintenance scenarios. Kind of the same type of a thing with, of course, the authorization for the next item, which would be the resolution 2969 for the Olson Brothers ProVac for stormwater drainage. Probably well aware the city has an MPDES permit that it must maintain, and part of that is cleaning out stormwater basins. Again, an activity very capable of our folks, but outsourcing that to a firm that can go around and just kind of concentrate on that and get it done. Of course, supervised by our folks, but that'll be done very quickly and efficiently that way. Both those resolutions are on your recommended for passage on tonight's consent agenda. And then, of course, we reviewed ordinance D2195, which is removing hotel and motels from permitted uses. Has to do with emergency housing shelters allocation. The state mandates requirement for that. I think if there's any questions on that, you might want to ask Jason. Knowledgeable in that area. Basically, keeps the city from having to host some emergency housing situations that would otherwise be required because of the removal of Resolution 2972, the hoarding building inspector services, and that's an interlocal again. Another cooperative interlocal agreement where we are taking if and only if our city decides that there's extra time available on our building inspectors and hoarding needs that particular time, they can request it. So basically, they'll request from us, hey, you have time available to come down here, and then our administration can say, yeah, we do or don't have the ability, some time left over to. Doesn't happen very often, but it's always nice to be able to have those local agreements when it does. And of course, they acquire the right of way for the roundabout out there, 214th and 410. We know that needs to be improved. Yet to know how to improve it yet, but regardless of what happens out there, you will need more right of way. This is a first right of way that you will need in the future, so you're not throwing anything away. Whichever direction the council decides to go at that particular point in time. That's why that was also put on, recommended for approval, and put on the regular. Had a question about that? We approved our minutes, and then we moved on. It was a tight meeting. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you, Councilmember Swatman. Public Safety Committee, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have not met. Our next meeting.
All right. Terrific. Thank you, Councilmember Carter. I can't hear anybody right now. All right. I see no other reports. We do have the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve? There's a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Thank you very much. Let's go down to the Community Development Committee issues. Sadie.
Item A, which is Resolution 2971. Council motion would be to approve this resolution authorizing acquiring right-of-way for the SR 410 214th Avenue roundabout, project parcel 051903117 and 015903500 from the Safeway Incorporation and Safeway Stores Incorporation.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Carter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think everybody knows where I stand with the roundabout issue. However, I will say that I know that we do need right away. We have to do it live or some other. For that, but it's still against the roundabout.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. Seeing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. Let's go to full council issues. It's AB 21-74, I believe. Sadie?
Item A, which is ordinance 2174. Council motion would be to approve amending chapters 18.29 and section 808.020 of the Bonnie Lake Municipal Code and the corresponding portions of the ordinance numbers, and repealing chapter 18.33 of the Bonnie Lake Municipal Code and the corresponding portions of ordinance numbers related to permitted uses and development regulations for the town.
So moved.
Moved. Is there a second? Discussion. Councilmember McClymons?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that on page 35 of the agenda, which is page 10, that item 713940, fitness centers and recreation centers, be added. It's been struck out of East Town. I'd like to add it back in if that would be permissible. The reasoning for that is the other changes that we added, the idea is that some of these small businesses like to leverage the rent and the capacity of these industrial spaces to get a foothold, understand how to run their business, establish a clientele before they move to more permanent facilities that are more suited to them. And so I'd really like to offer those businesses that opportunity.
So there's a motion to amend. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
That's been seconded. Any discussion on the amendment? Jason, do you want to add into this at all?
No, Your Honor. I spoke with Councilor McClymons before the meeting and understand
All right.
Okay.
All right. So we have a first and a second on the amendment. I see no further discussion. So this is approving the amendment. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Terrific. So that's amended. Now we go back to the original ordinance. Any discussion? All right. I don't see any hands. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. I see no further business before us. Have a great week and stay safe. Thank you very much.
Have a good night.
Good night.